morning. How are we feeling? Sunday. Happy Easter, everybody. Hope everybody's feeling really great. I kind of dropped the ball on Easter with my kids today. I couldn't find any of those plastic Easter eggs, so we're going to do a ring pop hunt later. So that's exciting. Everybody feeling okay? Everybody feeling good? Ready to move? I just realized I'm wearing like very Eastery colors, so there's that. Anybody have any special requests today? I've had some people be like, I really like a side leg series. You know, I don't know, anything. Any like quickie, I mean, obviously we'll do kind of everything, but if there's anything that people are, you know, really like, oh, I want to revisit something that we did before that we haven't done in a while, let me know. You can send me a DM later. We're gonna move, feeling good, had plenty of coffee. Happy Easter again for all of the everybody that just joined. Low abs, side leg, love it. All of these, all of the things. Glutes, we got all of it. Let me drink one more sip of coffee. Yeah, I think we should get started. Anybody new? I'm using a ball. You can use a pillow. You can use a toilet paper roll. You can use kind of anything that adds a little bit of a give. You can do like a wrapped up long sleeve, arms, glutes. Amazing. I mean, we're gonna do everything, but anything that's like very targeted, like let's focus on this. I do want to do kind of like a side leg, oblique, whole thing, which is back. It's a whole bunch of stuff. So I got you all. Another abs session. We're gonna do abs. All right, let's get started. It's 10:01. We're gonna start on your knees with the ball. I've been working on this series. I want to continue this. It's such a great way to kind of just flow through. So now that if any of you have been doing these for a while, I want you to really like flow through the movement, like just allow your body to kind of move. So I'm going to talk you through it, but let's start moving. So you're going to go on top of your knees here. Give the ball a squeeze. Make sure it's slightly up off the ground. So you're going to squeeze your inner thighs. You're going to lift up out of the core here. Just start to take your arms behind you. And then you're reaching your arms up in line with your shoulders. So you're just starting to kind of move here, flatten the feet. Try not to grip too much into the toes. You're gonna reach it up. Let's do one more, and then you're gonna go into an arm circle. So you're gonna reach your hands all the way up, circle them around. So try not to pop your chest out, but really pulling in the core, circling it around. Let's do one more. All the way around. You're gonna take your hands in front of you here. Take them back behind you. You're going to start to hinge at the hips. So you're sinking your hips over your heels as you reach your fingers out. Open up the chest here. So you're flowing through. Start to connect into your glutes. Start to connect into your core. Your hips aren't going to touch your heels, but they're just going to kind of hover. And then if you have no prop here, I want you to still remind yourself that your inner thighs are pulling together. You're thinking of like some resistance in between your legs. And lift. And let's do one more. And lift. Keep your arms back behind you. You're going to hinge backwards here. Pull the abdominals in. You're going to start to just do tiny pulses up. So feel this as a way to kind of connect into your core. Remind yourself that every movement starts there. You're going to start to press up from your triceps, lengthening out of your neck. Good. Your glutes should start to fire up a little bit, inner thighs. And you're going to hold your hands up, start to bend your elbows, and then press your hands back. So bending here, pushing it back, keeping the core in, and back. So you're trying to release your tension in your neck here. So some people were asking, how do I prevent my shoulders from lifting up? And really what it is like it kind of your shoulders want to curl here. You want to pull them down and back and start to engage your lats and your core to kind of keep your shoulders pulled away. Let's do one more. Arms go back here. You're going to round the body forward as you reach your hands forward. Press your arms back. Just start to open up your chest. You can go into a slight extension if that feels okay. And then press it back. Rounding it forward. Pressing it back. Let's do two more. And back. One more. You're gonna round, and then you're gonna end up in a flat back here. I want you to turn your palms facing down to the floor. You're gonna reach your hands all the way up over your head. Pull your arms back and then squeeze your pinkies in towards each other. So you're pulling your ribs in here, trying not to pop the chest out. Your arms are doing kind of a nice circle. Pull it in. Start to warm up your shoulders as well. Let's do 3 more. And back. 2 more. And back, and then 1 more. You're going to keep your hands above you. Start to lift up in the hips. You're going to start to take your arms up to the ceiling. Pull the abdominals in. You're going to drop your left arm down to the side. You're going to turn your palm facing inwards, and you're just going to go up and over. So you're kind of going up and over to the side, and then use your abdominals to lift up. So you're taking the opposite hand up. So you're going to drop it down. You're going up and over. Pulling in the abdominals, still working the inner thighs here. Up and over. And lift. Should be a lot of core here. Lifting up, you're grounding this opposite knee, so this knee is pushing down as you go up and over. And lift. Let's do 1 more on each side. And lift. And last one, up and over. And lift, and we're going to do 2 arm circles here. I'm going to start to face forward towards my mat. Let's do 1 more. And then you're going to make your way onto your hands and knees here. So your hands are underneath your shoulders. Shoulders are pulled back. You're going to curl your toes underneath and start to hover your knees up here and hold. So shoulders are kind of like connecting into the lats. And then drop the knees down. Just making abdominals pull in and up. Give that ball a slight squeeze. And then drop it down. And let's keep going here. So you're lifting it up. And then drop it down. 2 more. Lift. And drop it down. The last one, you're going to stay all the way up. So you're going to pull your knees in and up and hold here. We're going into a pike. So you're going to keep your heels up high. You're pressing up into your arms, squeezing the ball so your chest kind of pulls in towards your legs. You're rolling through the spine. Your knees are going to stay hovered, and they're going to go into a flat back. So your knees are never going to touch the ground. You're just lifting in and up here, rolling through the spine, and then hover the knees. So pulling the core in here, rolling through, hover the knees, and let's do 2 more. So you're thinking high heels if you can, slowly rolling through, pulling the shoulders back. You're ending in this hovered position. 1 more. All the way up, and then keep breathing. Think long, deep breaths. Rolling through, shoulders are back. You're going to hold for a second. Try to get back into the same position. Drop the knees down, uncurl your toes, and we're going to round the body all the way up. So you're going to pull the core in, and then you're going to open up your chest into a flat back. You're going to start to take your left hand out to the side, so you're going to open up the chest through here, and then drop it down. Let's go over to the right. Opening it up and dropping it down. You're trying to keep your weight directly in the center of your body. You're just extending that arm out. Drop it down. Think inner thighs. Think core. And you also don't want to just take the arm out and in. You want to really feel resistance as you lift it up and then drop it down. You'll feel your bicep working. You'll feel your lat working. Whew. Let's take it over to the left here, and you're going to hold. You're going to fold that arm underneath. You're going to bend your right elbow as you twist over to the side. Push it up, and then you're going to open up the chest up to the left. So you're twisting up here. Folding your arm underneath as you bend the right elbow. Opening it up. So you're going to try not to pull your weight backwards over to your heels. You're kind of pulling your weight forward. You're only going to go about halfway, and then lift it up. So we're trying not to pull back here. Okay, we're trying to keep the hips on top of the knees. 2 more. And lift. Open it up. 1 more. And open it all the way up. Good. And then come back to center here. Round the body all the way up. So pulling in the core. And then come back to center. Shoulders are back. You're going to take your right arm out to the side. Roll that left shoulder back. You're going to fold your right arm underneath. Your left elbow is going to bend slightly. And then twist up to the ceiling. Open up your chest. This side's so much tighter for me. So you're thinking the twist comes from your belly button up. So you're rotating it up, opening it up. And then keep squeezing your inner thighs. Make sure your inner thighs are still doing some work here. Opening it up. 2 more. I went too far on that one. 1 more. So you still want to control the movement in both directions. All the way up. Good. And then drop that arm down. Come back to center here. Round the body all the way up. So you're pulling the core in. And then open up the chest. Reach your fingers all the way out. You're stretching into a child's pose. You're going to start to curl your toes underneath. And we're going to press out into a full plank. So shoulders are back here. Abdominals stay in. You're just going to dip your knees down and then press your heels out. So your knees aren't going to touch the floor. You're going to try to keep your hips in the same place as they are. Your knees just bend slightly. You're thinking low abdominals. Press it out. So if you can see, my hips are trying to stay kind of in the same distance from the floor. Press it out. And let's do 2 more. And out. 1 more. And out. Press it all the way up. So you're going to lift up into a pike. Pull the core in. Roll through the spine. Go back out into your plank. Let's lift up again. Pull the core in. Pressing through the arms. Stretching out of the shoulders. Rolling through the spine. Open up the chest. 1 more. Pull the core in. Pressing it up. Rolling through. You're going to hold your plank. You're going to start to bend your knees, pushing through your arms here, pressing out here, opening up the chest. Bending the knees, pushing through the upper body. So you're thinking lengthening out of the top part of your body, also stretching out in the opposite direction from your lower half. Abdominals stay in and up. 3 more. You should be feeling some deep inner body heat by now. 2 more. Open it up. And 1 more. All the way up. Open up the chest. Slowly drop your knees down. Sit back into a child's pose. Stretching out through the fingertips. You're going to slowly roll through the spine. Let your head be the last piece here. You're going to roll all the way up. Take your hands all the way up over your head. Okay. All right, let's take the ball between your ankles. I love this one because I feel like you can really tap into the low abdominals here, like really kind of like figuring out what's happening in your hips and your abdominals. Try to connect there. Let's start again. Reach your hands forward, pulling up through the core. Start to take your hands backwards here and lift. If you have no prop, it's totally fine. You can squeeze your heels together here. You're just pulling the core in and up and back. Let's do 1 more. And back, and then you're going to take your hands all the way up over your head. I want you to take your hands out to the side here. You're going to turn your palms facing backwards, and you're just going to start to do tiny presses back. So tiny pulses back with your arms. So you're keeping the core in, keeping the ribs in. It's going to feel kind of like a nice stretch in the front of your body. You're pulling your shoulder blades together. Good. And then you're going to hold, you're going to start to bend the elbows, press it back. So keeping the core in, pressing it back. So if you can, you're going to start to feel some glutes here, some triceps. Looks pretty simple, but you really have to tell your body to kind of do some of the work. And out. 2 more. And out. 1 more. Pressing it out. You're going to take your palms in towards each other, pressing your arms back. We're going to hinge at the hips, reaching your hands in front of you. Hold the abdominals and pressing your arms back. So you're going to reach through here. Pressing it back. Think, remember, low abdominals, stretching through your arms, and lift. All the way out here, and lift. 2 more. And lift. And then 1 more. Lift your hips up, keep your hands behind you. You're going to hinge back through here. Just take your hands up in front of you, and then take your hands up behind you. So feel how when your arms are kind of up over your head here, it's a lot of abdominal to try not to move your body. Reach it up and back. And let's do 2 more. It's kind of like oiling up your shoulders too. Like you can really feel kind of like more mobility happening the more we start to do these moves. You're gonna hold here. Start to bend your elbows in, so you're gonna go both elbows, reach it out in front of you. So you're pulling it in here, reaching it out, keeping the abdominals in here. 2 more, and out. 1 more. You're gonna go out, we're gonna go 1 arm at a time. You're gonna take your left arm in, reach it out. Take your right arm in, and out. Anybody feeling glutes? It's a lot happening behind your body too. Pull the abdominals in and out. Let's do 1 more on each side. And out. Last one. And out. Press the arms all the way up. So if anybody said, I want to work the middle of my back and my shoulders, all of these are for you. Lifting up through here, pressing out. 1 more. And then you're going to make your way onto your hands and knees here. Shoulders are back. You're going to curl your toes underneath so that your knees stay wide. You're going to start to hover your knees up here and hold. And then drop it down so shoulders are back. You're trying to hover up and hold. You're trying to drop both knees at the same time. Trying to control your hips kind of together here. Lift it in and up. And drop it down. 2 more. Lift. And drop it down. 1 more, you're going to lift up here and hold. You're going to start to squeeze your knees together. So you're going in parallel and then opening it up. So you're going parallel and open. Squeeze and open. Shoulders are back. 3 more. And open. 2 more. And open. 1 more. And open. You're going to drop to your knees. Uncurl your toes here. Round the abdominals all the way up. And then come back to center here. Your shoulders are back away from your ears. You're going to take your left hand back behind you. You're going to go here. And then drop it down. Let's go to the right. Oh my gosh, my arm is fully shaking. It's like everything, core, arm, press it back. So one thing about these moves, they kind of never get easier the deeper you start to feel them. It can almost get a little bit more challenging the better your form gets. The more you start tapping into like different layers of muscles. Take your left hand back, pulling the abdominals in. You're going to start to bend the elbow and then press it back. So you're keeping your core in here. We're trying to keep a neutral pelvis, but if at any point your lower back starts to hurt, you can add a little tuck in the pelvis just to protect your back. Let's do 3 more. 2 more. And 1 more, press it back, drop that arm down. Let's go over to the other side. Start to bend it in and press it back. So shoulders are back. Keeping the abdominals in. How are we feeling here? Trying to keep the inner thighs engaged also, even though they're wide apart. 2 more. And 1 more. Good. And then drop that hand down, round it up, go into a cat and cow. Pull the abdominals in. Pull the shoulders all the way back. Open up the chest. Let's do 1 more. Round all the way up. And then we're going to open up the chest, and then we're going to sit back into a child's pose right after this. Rolling through the spine. Stretching out of your fingertips. You're going to start to curl your toes underneath. Your heels are together, toes are apart. You're going to press it all the way out. Open up the chest. Shoulders back. Your knees are going to widen here as you push through your arms. Pull the shoulders back, open it up. So also use this as a shoulder stretch. So take this moment here, stretching out of your shoulders, then pulling the core in to support your lats. Bending it here, pressing it all the way out. Keep breathing too. Squeezing the inner thighs. Good, all the way out. Let's do 2 more. Open up. 1 more. Open all the way up. You're going to start to bend your knees. Take your hands all the way out. Sit into child's pose. Stretching through your fingertips. And then slowly start to roll through the spine. You're going to lift all the way up. Roll your shoulders back a couple times. Okay, so we're going to take your prop. If you don't have a ball, grab onto a pillow because I'd love your upper body slightly propped up. You're going to take the ball right between your shoulder blades here. You're going to flatten your feet. Open up your chest, drape it over the ball or the pillow. Just allow your chest to kind of open up for a second. Did a lot of shoulder stability work here. You're gonna start to take your hands behind your head, curl up looking towards your abdominals, and then I want you to get into a neutral position. So you're lengthening out of your spine, pulling the core in. Your head is staying nice and long, your neck staying long. Elbows are in. You're gonna start to hover your right leg up and then drop it down. Let's take the left leg up. So we're gonna kind of do some marching here, 1 foot at a time. We're starting to connect into your core. If you feel any lower back pain here too, you can add like a little mini tuck here. So just find your position. We're gonna work towards that neutral pelvis position, but listen to your body. Drop it down. The tuck's always just a little more protective of your back. Lift. Good. And let's go over to the left. And then you're going to lift your right knee up through here. Just start to extend that leg all the way out straight, and you're going to draw the knee in. So you're going to stretch it out, draw the knee in here. Check in with your shoulders here to make sure that your head is kind of pressing into your arms. Your triceps are holding you up a little bit here, so your neck can relax. And in, we're going to start to add an upper body. Open up the chest. Bend the knee and just curl up and look towards your abdominals. So the curl is just a slight upper body curl. You're trying not to take your lower half into a curl as well. So it's neutral pelvis on the bottom, a tight lift in the upper body. A slight lift in the upper body. And lift. Let's do one more. And now as your knee comes in, we're adding a little twist over to the right. So, ooh, I'm a little wobbly today. Come back to center. A slight twist over to the right as your right knee comes in. And back to center. Try to ground your right hip as well. Back to center. Lift. And back. And lift. How are we feeling? Let's lift through here. And back. 2 more. Back 1 more. Tiny twist. And then back. You're going to lift that foot up, drop the foot down, open up your chest for a second, just allow your arms to relax. Keeping the core in here. Take your hands behind, curl it up. You're keeping your abdominals in and pressing your tailbone down, so trying to tap into the low abdominals here. Head presses into the arms and drop the shoulders. Start to hover your left knee up. Find how your body wants to shift slightly, and then do that oppositional pull in your right hip. Start to take that left leg out, and then pull it in. Good. Really nice. Just kind of nice and slow here. It's definitely not easy as you go slow, so try to really feel your muscles in your leg extending out and starting to pull back in, so we're using it in 2 different directions. So you're really doing something in both directions through all these exercises. So it's never just one direction, it's always 2. And keep breathing. And then start to open up the chest, reaching the leg out, do a tiny curl up in the upper body, opening it up, and curl. So reaching it out, and lift. And let's do 3 more. 2 more. And then 1 more. And now you're going to add the twist over to the left. So you're going to stretch the leg out, rotate slightly over to the left as your knee comes in. So it's the rotation along the spine. Think belly button up is doing a little twist. You're trying not to pull with the neck. You're just twisting through here. Twist. And then out. And let's do 3 more. And 2 more. And then last one. Woo. Drop that foot down. Open up your chest. You can open up your knees for a second. You're going to start to take your feet together and your knees are just slightly apart. Hands are behind your head. You're going to curl up here and hold. So now you're pressing your tailbone down. Your knees are slightly externally rotated. You're going to hover your right leg up and then drop it down. And hover your left leg up. Drop it down. So you're going to go one at a time here. Check in with your spine. Try not to arch your spine. You can add a little tuck again here if you need to. Lift and lower. Lift. And now you're going to hover your right leg up here and hold. You're going to start to extend it all the way out to the center of your body and then bend the knee in. So you're trying to keep the same shape. So you're just reaching it out, bending it in. Extend it out. My nose is dripping. Reach it out. Bend it in. Let's do 2 more. Lengthening out through your neck. So you're not really like opening up your chest here. You're kind of looking at like a high diagonal, almost like the same diagonal as your leg, like you're looking outwards that way. Start to add a twist to the right as your leg extends. So you're rotating, pulling it back to center as you bend the knee. So you're doing a twist here, pull it back to center. Nice rotation, pull it back. Let's do 3 more. Try not to just pull on the neck, okay? The rotation comes from the spine, belly button up. 1 more. And then back in, you're gonna drop that foot down, open up your chest, open up your knees for a second. Take a deep breath, and then start to take your hands behind your head again, curling up. Find your position here. Tap into the abdominals before you even get started. So make sure that this is staying strong, engaged. Shoulders are down. Start to hover the left leg up. We're going to drop it down. Take the right leg up. Drop it down. You feel right as the second you lift that right leg, you can feel this whole right side connecting again. So we already did all that work. So let's do 1 more right. Drop it down, and then your left leg is going to stay up on this next one. You're going to hold here. Start to extend that leg all the way out. Bending the knee to come in. So you're stretching it out, bending it in. Trying to keep this right side down as you bend the knee in. Ooh, it's the hardest part. Reach it out. Bend it in. Let's do 3 more. 2 more here. And then 1 more. And now we're going to add the twist to the left as your leg extends. So you're rotating your upper body, stretch the leg out, bending the knee, come back to center. You're stretching it out. So you're trying to look past your left shoulder. You're trying to twist, looking backwards there without straining your neck and without compromising your lower half. There's so many pieces here. Just try your best. There's so many moving pieces and so many like things to think about. 2 more. And then 1 more here. Ooh, abs. Come back to center. Drop that foot down. Open up your chest. Relax your shoulders here. Hands come back behind your head. You're going to curl up again. Walking your feet in just very slightly here. So you're now like kind of keeping your heels in a little bit tighter. You're going to open up your knees. Start to squeeze your knees together. So you're going to open it up. Squeeze it together. So if you can feel this, it's kind of like tapping into your low abdominals as you slowly pull your knees together. So it's almost like there's someone standing in between that's like pressing into here and you're adding like some resistance here. You can also add your hands here if you need some of that extra. If you have a buddy at home, they can help you. But you can also visually, think inside your body like, oh, there's something there. I'm trying to pull it inwards. Open it up. Let's do 3 more. 2 more. And 1 more. You're going to squeeze here, so squeeze the knees. You're going to rotate to the right, pull it back to center. Rotate to the left, pull it back to center. Go to the right, back to center, and then over to the left. Back to center. Let's do 2 more on each side. Hold the abdominals here. Twist. And then up 1 more each side. Twist. Last one. Twist. Okay. Stretching your legs out straight through here. You're going to start to reach your hands forward. I want you to slowly start to roll up off the ball. You can grab onto the ball. You're going to roll forward. Drop the head down, stretching out of your fingertips here. And then we're going to lift up and you're going to plant your feet together. The ball's going to go between your knees. Lifting up in the shoulders here, relaxing the shoulders. We're going to roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. You're going to slowly pull through the abdominals. Oh my gosh, my abdominals. Whew. Woo, okay, stretch it out right here, stretching out of your fingertips. Let's circle the arms around, pulling them towards your legs. You're gonna lift up. If you need some extra help here, you can grab on underneath your knees, lift it all the way up. Let's scoop and roll all the way down. So really working through your vertebrae here. You're trying to stretch out your thoracic spine right here because we did a lot there before this. And then slowly start to lift right back up. Let's roll down again, scoop and roll. All the way down. Take your hands up over your head, circle them around, pull the chin in. So use this as a spinal recovery here to kind of roll through your vertebrae. Obviously still abdominals, still inner thighs, still active in your whole entire body, but we're trying to align your spine back into center so we can prep ourselves for some more twist. Reach it all the way around. Arms circle around here, pull the abdominals in. Let's lift right back up. The next one we're going to stay all the way down, so you're going to scoop and roll all the way down. Take your hands up over your head. We're going to circle your arms around. Start to pull your knees into your chest. You're going to rock side to side. And then you're going to take your arms out into a T. It's a little bit easier if you take your hands down to the floor. I would prefer palms facing up so your shoulders can relax. But you figure out what you need to do for just in terms of stability here. You're going to lift your feet up, squeezing the ball. You're going to take your knees slightly over to the right. And then you're going to use your abdominals to pull the knees back to center. You're going to take your knees over to the left. And then pull it back to center. I might actually need to take my arms down today. I'm feeling a little less mobile for some reason. Pulling the abdominals in. Let's go over to the left. And pull it back to center. Let's take your knees over to the right here and you're going to hold. You're going to start to take your left arm up to the ceiling. And then you're going to open that arm out to the side. So now your knees are slightly over to the right. And you're just going to pull that left arm up and then opening it up out to the side. So you're keeping your obliques really, really engaged here. You feel like you're moving that left arm in space, like you're actually pressing up against some sort of weight. And then you're going to take that hand up to the ceiling. You're going to take it up and over your head as you dip your legs down an inch. Pull the knees in as this arm goes all the way down. So if this feels too much on your back or you just can't hang on with your oblique here, forego the arms altogether. You can take them back out to the side here and just dip and lower. Up and lift. And let's do 3 more here. It's also a lot of inner thigh. 2 more. And 1 more. And lift. And pull your knees into your chest. You can rock your hips side to side. You can always take your hands down by your side too if you need some extra support. So really, listen to your body. Don't power through if you're feeling any lower back pain at all. That being said, let's go over to the other side. Pull the abdominals in. Drop your knees slightly over to the left. Pull the abs back to center. Let's go over to the right. A nice little twist. I can go so much further on my right because I already did all that work. Let's go over to the left. You're going to hold here, pulling the abdominals. Start to take the left hand up to the ceiling, opening it up. So you're pulling it in and up here. Also, if you're feeling any tension in the hip, kind of grinding down to the floor, you might just need a little bit extra padding there. So you can add a towel underneath there if you feel like you need some more support. 2 more. And then 1 more, you're going to take your hand up here. Drop the legs down a couple inches as your arms go up over your head. Just your right arm. So you're keeping the shape of your legs, you're just dipping it down slightly. So you're not really bending your knees in and out. The whole shape goes down to the floor slightly. Pulls it in. And let's do 3 more. 2 more. And 1 more. Whew. Bend your knees in, give yourself a hug here, rock side to side. We're going to grab on underneath your knees. We're going to slowly start to round up. We're going to do some rolling like a ball. So we're going to lift up through here, pull the abdominals in. You're going to scoop and roll backwards, rolling through your spine. Let's lift right up. Let's roll it back. Lift it up. If you want a slight challenge on the arms, You can take your arms out from underneath your knees and give yourself a little squeeze here, just pulling your shoulders back. Pulling the abdominal then kind of takes the arm component out of it, makes it a lot more abdominal. Scoop and roll. Lift it up. Let's do 2 more. One more. And lift. Awesome. Open up your knees. Let's take a butterfly stretch here. Relax your hip flexors for a second. We're going to go into some glutes. We're going to go into some side legs. We're going to do all the things. I hope now your shoulders are fully relaxed though, so we can get right back up on top of that. Okay. So if you have a prop, great. If you don't, we're going to take both hands underneath, also fine, don't even worry about it. But you're going to take the prop underneath your left arm here. Your right arm stays straight. Your left elbow is slightly bent. So you're going to keep this slightly bent. You're going to try not to allow this to happen. Shoulders are back and you're connecting into your tricep and your lat. Pulling the abdominals in here. We're going to go into a cat and cow. We're just going to round all the way up. You're pulling your abdominals in. Your knees are in line with your hips. Open up the chest. Let's do 1 more round all the way up to the ceiling. Pulling the core in. And then you're going to open up your chest into a flat back here. Start to extend your right leg all the way out. Lengthen out of that heel, so you really stretch out of your core and then start to hover that leg up. So you're going to pull the abdominals in here. You're just going to start to tap the toe down to the floor and then lift. We're going to keep it in parallel first. Your range of motion is going to be a lot smaller when the leg is in parallel. So drop and lift. Try to soften your right elbow. The ball just adds a little less stability on this left side. You can also do this with a hand on the ground. Let's do 1 more. And you're going to start to bend the knee into your chest and then extend it all the way out. So your right knee bends in. You're trying to keep it in parallel. Extend it out. Bend it in. Reaching it out. Just doing a nice movement here, keeping your spine straight. Try not to allow your tailbone to go with you. If you can see the difference, see how my body starts to move with it. Trying to keep your spine really nice and long. 2 more. And then 1 more. I hope you can see this, but I started on my right side. You're going to open up your hip and you're going to bend the knee into the side, kind of towards your right elbow. Extend it out. So the hip is slightly open. And then out. Bending it in through here, and then out. Let's do 3 more. And out. 2 more. Pull your shoulders back, and 1 more. And out. You're going to drop the right knee down. You're going to take your left hand facing inwards here. So now your left hand is out. The ball still stays underneath your left arm. You're going to open up this leg, pulling the core in through here. Do tiny pulses up. So you're just pulling the abdominals in. You can actually drop your head down, facing down to the floor. Feel the whole left side of your body kind of opening up here. Try to connect into the low abdominals. You're going to drop the toe down to the floor, which will drop here and tap. You're going to kind of go as low as you can until your spine starts to feel like it's going to collapse. So if you start to go here because you want to drop the toe down, keep it smaller. So like mine's right about here. And then lifting back up because I can't really hang on to my core any lower than that. And lift. I'm going to go here and lift. Let's do 3 more. And 2 more. And then 1 more. And then you're going to lift here. You're going to tap the toe over to the side and then lift it right back up. So you're going to tap. Keeping the core in, and lift it up on the high diagonal. Good. And lift. So my chest is still like kind of opened up. My head is facing down to the floor. So I'm not like fully rotated here. I'm still opening up that side of my body. And lift. Let's do 2 more. And lift, and then 1 more. And then lift. Good. And you're going to drop that left knee down. We're going to stay in the same upper body position, but you're going to twist over to the left. We're going to hold kind of a side plank position. You're going to get into this position here, so the ball kind of is lightly here. You're going to start to extend this top leg out. You're gonna tap the toe down and then lift. So you're keeping your hips up off the ground. If you're feeling too much pressure into your right shoulder, you can absolutely drop your hip down and go here. Just make sure that you're lifted in and up, okay? 2 different ways to do this. You're either holding a side plank, connecting a little bit more core, kind of to lift yourself up here, and also drop your head down if it feels like it's aggravating you at all. This arm's very light, so it's not doing a ton of work. Let me find my position again. 2 more. And now you're going to bend the knee, you're going to tap your hip down, and then stretch it out as you lift. So tapping it down, stretching it out as you lift. So tap, pulling the core in. Okay, and if you're down here, you're just going to go here. You're just going to reach it out, bend the knee in, pulling in the core, stretching it out, bending it in, pulling it in. Both equally effective. I do both in my classes, so don't worry. Bend it down. 2 more. And then 1 more. And now you're going to hold it out here. I want you to take the ball into this top arm. You're going to drop the leg as you lift in and up, reaching that ball up and over. And you're going to tap here. You're going to go up and over. So you're kind of pulling in the core. And then tap. So if you're down, you're just going to stretch out. And then tap. Stretch it out. And then tap. Okay, lift. And tap. Let's do 3 more here. Lift. 2 more, trying to keep your spine as straight as possible. And 1 more. And lift. Beautiful. Bend your knees in. Let's flip down to the floor. Take a child's pose here. Take your knees wide. You're going to take the ball. If you have a ball, roll the ball out on your right side so your right arm is slightly lifted. Take your left arm underneath. Get a nice twist over to the side. Stretching through that side of your body. How are we feeling? It's a lot of shoulder work today too, so I want to roll through that. Make sure that if you're ever feeling it like too much, if you feel like you just like cannot hang on, drop your hips down. Okay? Take the ball underneath your right hand. Getting back down onto all fours here. Pulling your core in. Shoulders are back here. You're going to round the abdominals all the way up. So you're pulling in the core. And then you're going to open up your chest. And then rounding in the core again here, pulling it in. And then take your chest flat here, so your shoulders are back. You're keeping your spine nice and straight. Start to extend the left leg. So there's a big difference between, here's where my leg is here, and then here. So if you can see the difference, I'm like stretching it out, or I'm stretching it out. You can see myself lifting up off my right side. So that's where I want you to be here. Start to hover that leg up. Keep it in parallel here. You're tapping the toe down and lifting. So we're trying to really tap into the core and the glutes so that it's less pressure up on your upper body. Tap and lift. Okay. How are we feeling? It's a lot. Really try to tap it really deeply inside your core here. You're getting that nice like smile area underneath your glute here. Your stabilizing leg, the right leg is still doing a lot of work too, so if you're feeling there, you're going to be feeling it there. 2 more. 1 more, you're going to lift up here and hold, start to bend the knee in, and then stretch it out. So a reminder that our spines are trying to stay nice and straight. As your knee comes in, your oblique is trying to pull the knee in, stretching it out. Let's do 3 more, and out. 2 more, out, 1 more here. And then out. Now you're going to open up the hip slightly. Take your knee in this way. So you're taking it in towards your left shoulder, stretching it out. Here, stretch it out. So if you can just go here to hang on without collapsing your spine, that's totally fine. Everybody's range of motion is going to be very different here. We want to keep a neutral spine. And then back. 2 more. And then 1 more. Awesome. We're going to drop that knee down. I'm going to have you go onto your left arm. The ball comes behind, and then you're going to open that leg up. I'm going to flip around so I can face you, but that's the positioning we're trying to get into. So we're going to go here, pull the core in. You can drop your head down to the floor, but your right shoulder is slightly lifted here. You're going to tap the toe down. Actually, we started with the pulses, so let's start by pulsing that leg up, keeping the core in. My tendency is to always kind of like arch down here, so you really want to make sure that you're pulling in the core. Your leg is going to have slightly less movement. So if you're here, it looks pretty because your leg's a little bit higher, but it's really bad for your kind of your core and your back. So hold it here and then do the pulses there. You feel it immediately in your core and your glutes. Tiny lifts. Keeping the core in through here. And then start to tap the toe down. I can only go about there, keeping that hip nice and open. So you're dropping it down and lift. Ease up on this right arm here. So you're like putting a little pressure. You're gonna feel it in your tricep there, but you don't want to kind of like press too hard down into the floor. If you have no prop, kind of go light on your fingertips, or you can just drop the hand down. I like having something to lift up against because here I feel like this wants to happen. So if you can prop yourself up just a tiny bit of something. Go into a straight leg, you're going to tap it over to the side, and then lift it up. So keeping the core in, you're going to tap and lift. So pull the abdominals in here and lift. Let's do 2 more. So you're trying to keep your spine straight as you drop it down. Let's just do 1 more for good luck after this. Oh, and lift. Whew, okay. All right. Let's go into the side series here. You're going onto your left hip. Try to mimic what you did on the other side, unless if you have some sort of like imbalance in your shoulders, like you have an injury or something, and you can drop one hip on one side and lift on the other, but try to keep them even if you can. You're going to go here. Squeeze your knees together, open up the chest. You're going to start to extend this top leg out. Yeah, we're going to tap it down and then lift. You're just dropping it down and lifting. So keeping the abdominals in and up. Lift and lift. Nice. So keeping the core in here. Tiny. Lift. Let's do 2 more. And then 1 more. And now you're going to bend the knee in, you're going to drop it down, press it all the way out. So you're dropping it down, squeezing the knees, pulling the abdominals in, and lift it up through here. Dropping it down, and extend. So you're thinking length, you're going lengthen out, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And then out. Let's do 1 more. And then out, you're going to take the ball up towards the ceiling. You're going to drop your leg as you take that hand up over your head. You're going to lift up and tap. You're going to drop. Stay lifted up off that right shoulder, keeping the core in. And tap. Woo. Drop it down. And lift. Let's do 2 more. My leg is getting so heavy I can barely lift it now. Woo. 1 more. And lift. Oh, so good. Okay. Let's place down to the floor. Take the ball underneath your left arm. Stretch it all the way out through here. You're going to take your right hand underneath your left. Get a nice twist over to the side. Stretching out through that arm. And let's lift up. How are we doing? Okay. All right, let's flip your legs around. Take the ball in between your ankles here. I want you to give yourself a little bit of space between your heels and your mat. Let me focus here so you can see a little bit better. So it's going to squeeze between your ankles. Lifting up out of your chest, you're going to give yourself a little bit of space between your heels and your glutes. That's what I meant to say. Scoop and roll down. You're going to go 1 vertebrae at a time. You're going to go all the way down. Take your hands up over your head, stretching through your fingertips. Let's pull the chin in here. Slowly start to lift right back up. You're going to scoop and roll all the way down, rolling through the spine. Take your hands up over your head. We're just going to align your spine back into the center before we continue with some work here. Scoop and roll all the way down. Take your hands up over your head. And then let's lift all the way up again. You're going to bend your elbows and you're going to take yourself back onto your hands here. You're going to keep your fingertips facing each other. I want you to hover your hips up slightly. So you're kind of at this wide, if you're not really tight in here, we're kind of making it a little bit more wide. Squeezing the ball here, pulling your abdominals in, and you're going to start to bend the elbows slightly and lift. So you're dropping it down and lifting. So you're pulling your core in, you're trying to keep your spine straight. Try to keep your neck in, and trying to pull the shoulders back, keeping the abdominals in. And let's do 3 more. Lift, 2 more. And lift. And 1 more, very tiny. Lift. You're going to drop your hips down. We're just going to press up through your arms. I want you to open up the chest slightly. Pull the abdominals in, so you're going to kind of bend through here. We're just going to press your chest up just to open up the chest. Pull it in here, kind of like hinging backwards slightly onto your arms. Press it up 1 more time, open up the chest. And then we're going to come all the way back, reaching your hands forward. We're going to roll all the way down, pulling through the abdominals, rolling through, take your hands all the way up over your head. We're going to circle your arms around, start to walk your glutes into your heels or your heels into your glutes. We're going to find this tight position here, reaching your hands all the way up over your head. So you're stretching with your fingertips, squeezing the inner thighs. You're going to slowly start to peel your hips all the way up as you take your arms down by your side, lengthening out of the top of your neck, slowly rolling through the spine. Start to reach your hands all the way up, stretching out of your fingertips here. And start to lift back up, so you're pulling the abdominals in, pressing down on your arms, lengthening out of your neck, and then scoop and roll all the way down, reaching out of your fingertips. Let's do 2 more here. Rolling all the way up. So the ball is between your ankles, keeping your abdominals in, slowly rolling down. And let's do 1 more. We're going to lift it all the way up. Take your hands down by your side here, stretching out, so you're trying to reach your fingertips as far towards your heels as possible. We're going to dip your right hip down, lift, left hip down, lift. So we're going to go 1 on each side. Lift, trying to keep your knees directly in line with your hips here. Dip and lift, dip and lift. Let's go 1 more, each side. Lift all the way up. You're going to scoop and roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. You're going to take your knees into your chest, give yourself a hug here. I'm going to scoot forward. We're going to do some leg inversions up over your head, so if you're pregnant or you feel like this just isn't comfortable, you can just, I'll tell you the alternative here. Squeezing your legs here, squeezing the ball. You're going to take your legs up and over your head. I want you to flex the feet, give the ball a slight squeeze. You're going to roll through your spine 1 vertebrae at a time. Rolling all the way down, take your legs back down to 45 and then point your toes. So if you don't want to take your legs up over your head, you can just hold your legs up here. You're going to bend the knees, stretch your legs all the way up. You can take your arms out into a T. So 2 different things we can do here. Just bending and lifting. And if you want to go all the way up and over your legs, stay out, lifting it all the way up. Flex your feet here, rolling through your spine. Trying to give as many options as possible here because we have so many different levels and so many different bodies, so many different ailments and abilities. So just try your best. If this does not feel right, don't do it. Okay, let's do 1 more. So if you're here, you're still pulling in the core here. How are we doing? Let's do 1 more. And up, and then bend the knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug, rock side to side. And then let's take the ball underneath your tailbone. And take the pillow, just pop yourself up very slightly. Lifting up through here. Grab on behind. Take your legs up to the ceiling. Give them a little wiggle. Your toes are apart, heels are together. Just start to open your legs up out to the side. Let gravity kind of pull it down for a second. You're going to flex your feet. Squeeze it in. Point the toes. You're going to open, flex and squeeze. Point it open. Flex and squeeze. Let's do 2 more here. And squeeze. 1 more. And squeeze, and then let's reverse. You're going to flex your feet out to the side, keeping the abdominals in, point the toes and squeeze. 3 more. 2 more here. drop your right leg down to the floor, take your left knee into your chest. Stretch it all the way out. So you're really elongating out through your right hip flexor. Stretching it out there. Let's switch the opposite way. Stretch it all the way out. Let's drop your feet down. Let's lift your hips up through here. Slowly roll through the spine. If you have a ball or a pillow, take the pillow or a ball underneath your neck here. You're going to kind of go, see if I can go right here. You're just going to relax your legs. You can take your arms out to your side. If you don't have a prop like this, you can also just go into a downward dog. You're just going to drop your head over to the right and you're going to stretch through here. Allow gravity to kind of just pull your head down to the floor. And let's go over to the other side. So you're just going to kind of like roll through a gravity just to kind of pull it down just like an extra little bit. Let's go over to the other side again. Just kind of massaging through your shoulders. Let's go over to the other side again. And let's come up through here, take it out from behind your head. Is it counting down yet? Not yet. Great. Okay. Let's go into a downward dog if you haven't gotten here yet. Okay. Start to pedal through your feet. Just let your head hang. Pedal through here. I want you to start to walk your feet in underneath your hips. Take your heels directly underneath your hips. Grab onto your elbows. Let your head drop all the way down and let gravity kind of pull your weight down to the floor. Your knees are going to be soft. You're going to nod your head. Shake your head. And then release your arms down to the floor. I want you to slowly pull the abdominals in and we're going to go up about halfway here. So you're pulling the core and let your head relax. You're going to start to circle your arms. So you're going to start the movement. And then you're just going to allow them to continue with inertia, just kind of keep going. You're not really doing anything, they're just circling in the joint. Pulling the core in. And then start the circle in the opposite direction. This is a really great one that you can do up against a wall. And just kind of allow your arms to circle here. Pulling the core in, you're just going to let your arms just float down to the floor. And then start to roll through the spine, one vertebrae at a time, keeping your knees soft. You're going to lift up through here and roll your shoulders back a couple times. You can end with your legs up on a wall. I feel like I'm closer today. Your legs can go up on a wall. You can end with the ball in your pelvic floor. You can lay down and massage through there. You can take the ball underneath your middle back and just open up your chest. All the things. I hope you're all feeling so great. Happy Easter. Thank you for joining me here. I love you all. There's a 30-minute express tomorrow. I'll be posting all of the weekly schedule today. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a great day. I love you. Hope you feel great. Kisses to everybody. Happy Easter. Bye.